queuing systems are also part in other logistics systems. Think of the airport. Here we have, this is probably the security, no, the check-in or security process at an airport. Probably this is the passport control, and behind the passport control you have the security check of the hand luggage, and there are several resources inside this airport, in particular the persons who do the passport check. And if you reduce the number of persons who do the passport check, then these queues of passengers go longer and longer. But of course you save some money in salaries. So depending on the service level that your airport should have, you need to set the appropriate number of personnel who do the passport check. But of course there is more to the system. The length it takes, the duration it takes to check the passport may be supported by some IT systems, can impact the queues. The way you organize the waiting inside the passport and the security check area has an impact on the customer satisfaction. You see here, this looks like one big queue, and at the end of the big queue it is split up in 3 different groups. This can help to balance individual issues when, for example, the waiting time of one passenger is unexpectedly high. There's a problem with one of the passports maybe, then we can balance this in a better way by having these 3 small queues. These are design issues inside an airport terminal, and of course you can imagine with social distancing due to COVID and other operational requirements, you have to replan these queues to make them fit for the new conditions. So queuing systems are very relevant inside logistics. Another queue that you are well aware of happens in the grocery stores, in particular on high traffic times, for example on the weekend. This is another logistics example of a logistics system which can impact the customer satisfaction to a high degree. If you wait long, you will be very unhappy, and designing such a system, training the staff to be quick enough, having the proper technology to be quick enough is very essential to have a good satisfaction of the customers and to plan your cost of your queuing system. The same applies when you try to integrate these self-checkout systems. Some countries, they have automated self-checkout systems where the customer has to scan the products themselves. You might have seen in Carrefour, in city center for example, they have this mobile phone based checkout system where you scan the products, the barcodes of the products with your phone, and then you just go to a specialized checkout to just pay your bill. And when you have the proper logistics methods, you can try to build models of these systems and analyze the consequences of these new checkout systems. Then you can decide how should be a good design of these self-checkout systems. How many do we need, for example? How many self-checkouts do we need? What is the improvement in customer quality, or what is the improvement in customers that we can move through our logistics system, our grocery store? Is the investment in these technologies worth it, or would it be better just to add, for example, 5 traditional checkouts? So all these things can be analyzed if you have some idea of how to model logistics systems, in particular queuing systems. Now we talked about the queuing systems, the production logistics, and let's move on to transport systems. You are well aware of many transport systems beyond your car. Of course, you know the passenger planes. You know from other countries probably the railway as a means of passenger transport. Of course, you know the road transport of goods via trucks and the ship transport, for example, of containers or minerals. Yeah. The ship transport is the most important mode of transport in the world. Most of the goods that you use in your everyday life have been at least once during the lifetime transported via ships. So it is crucial to know how to organize these types of transport systems. Another transport system that is quite new to Oman is public bus transport system, and when you have the proper logistics method, then you can decide how you should design such a network of bus stops, where to place the stops, how many customers to expect. Maybe also you can make pricing decisions. So methods from logistics can help a lot with designing efficient transportation systems. We talked about the inventory system in the logistics management course. In particular, we talked about the decision on how much goods to order, where we discussed the economic order quantity and the news vendor model, if you recall that. Of course, there are other design issues that happen inside a warehouse. For example, how many racks to have, if you should go for racks or other storage systems, if you should automate transport procedures inside the warehouse with conveyor belts or maybe even robots as an example. And beyond these design decisions inside a warehouse, warehouses play an important role by connecting different logistics systems, for example, different transport systems or transport and production systems. The warehouses are a point in the supply chain where the product pauses and is somehow processed, and they also connect different logistics systems.